Okay, let's build a calculator. We can in fact use some of the similar code as in our chatbot to perform this. Let's start by welcoming the user to the calculator. Next, we need to retrieve both of the operands, that is the two numbers that we're going to add or subtract, etc. Let's ask the user for the first operand. Gets that and assign it to a variable. Let's call it op_a. Remember from our previous exercises, we can use chomp to remove any new lines. But here, I'm actually going to call toF on the numbers straight away, so that all the time we're working with our numbers in our program, we're working with a float. Similar code for the second operand. And now I want to work out what I want to do with those operands. So let's ask the user what operator they want to use. And this time we can assign that to a variable called operator. Note that we don't have to do any further conversion of this because we only care that it's a string. So let's start with the add case. We can say if operator equals add, we'll call a method called add op_a and op_b and end. So now we have to define this method. Let's define the method right at the top of the code so that we know it will always be accessible. We'll call our method add and take two arguments. This time I'll just call it a and b. And of course add will just add them together. But I want to do something with these numbers. In fact, I want to display the number back to the user. So I'm just going to use puts for now. Let's run the code and see what happens. So the calculator will ask me what the first operand is. Let's say 100. And the second operand, I'll say 67.8912. I want to add these together, so I'll use add. So you can see the calculator has printed the result to the screen. But the problem is the number is formatted to 4 decimal places. We only want 2 decimal places. So rather than simply using the puts method, I'm going to define my own method called display. This will take just one argument, say result. And to display this result, I'll use puts here, but now I'm going to use sprintf. So I'll use the format %.2f to indicate that I want 2 decimal places and pass it also the result value. Now in my add method, instead of using puts, I'm going to use display. And it's good practice to use brackets around that. Now again, when we run our code, we'll pass 100 and another decimal number. And we'll add. Now we can see the result is formatted to just 2 decimal places. I can now go ahead and add additional methods for the other operators that I want to implement. So divide, subtract, multiply, and power. Then at the bottom of my code, I need to implement conditions to execute each of those different operators. I can use inline ifs to clean this code up. Now you should have a fully working calculator.